The Farm at Lane's End, Chapter 10. Keywords. Favour. When you do someone a favour, you do something for them. Can you do me a favour, please? Can you buy a packet of milk when you go shopping? To drop by. This means to visit someone for a short time. I'll drop by this afternoon about 4. Whilst you're at it means you could do something that's similar at the same time. My wife is cleaning her shoes, so whilst she's at it, she could clean my shoes as well. To spill the beans means to tell everything, to tell all. And to put on one's thinking cap simply means to think about something. That's a good question. I must think about it. I must put on my thinking cap. The Farm at Lane's End, Chapter 10. In Chapter 9, Dave taught Jane a lesson about the role of modern women in today's society. We also found out that Farmer Ken is a very religious man. And now the story continues. Duncan Bruce speaking. Hello, Vicar. Ken Barton speaking. I promised to phone you back. Yes, thanks for calling back, Ken. It's my pleasure, Duncan. What can I do for you? Ken, can you do me a favour, please? I need someone to read the lessons on Sunday morning. Would you possibly have time? Of course, Duncan. I'll gladly read the lessons. That's very nice of you, Ken. I'll drop by with the details later. About 4 this afternoon. That would be fine, Duncan. Oh, and whilst you're at it, why don't you stay for tea? Jean would be very happy to see you again. That's fine. So see you at 4 this afternoon. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Duncan. Goodbye for now. Sometime later. Jean, you'll never guess who's coming for tea. No, do tell me, Ken. It's the vicar, Bruce Duncan. He'll be here at 4. Oh, wonderful, Ken. Duncan is such a nice man. I know. I'll bake a cherry cake. Everyone likes cherry cake. And your cherry cakes, Jean, are the most delicious of all. Half an hour later. I say, Ken, I've just had a thought. Sounds interesting, Jean. Spill the beans. It's my mother's birthday soon. We'll have to celebrate, Jean. Have you any ideas? I'll have to put my thinking cap on. Let's talk about it over dinner. Good idea, Jean. I'll try and come up with some ideas as well. Shortly before 4 o'clock. I say, Jean, you really do look nice. Thank you, Ken. It's not every day the vicar comes for tea. And you're wearing a beautiful dress, my dear. Where did you get it? You bought it for me, Ken, about 5 years ago, and I've worn it several times since. Anyway, it's a beautiful dress, Jean, and blue really suits you. The doorbell rings. Good afternoon, Vicar. It's so nice to see you. Do come in, please. Ken will be here in just a minute. Thank you, Jean. It's nice seeing you again. How are you? Are you better? It must be nice being home again from hospital. It certainly is nice being home again, and I'm fine again. Thank you. Oh, here's Ken. Good afternoon, Duncan. Good afternoon, Ken. Do you take milk and sugar in your tea, Vicar? Just milk, please. And you'll take a slice of cherry cake, I'm sure. It's fresh out the oven. Cherry cake is my favourite, Jean. And Ken, here are the lessons for Sunday. Another cup of tea, Vicar? Yes, please, Jean. Oh, and there's just one more thing, Ken. Would you like to sing in the church choir? I can't sing, Duncan, but our son Dave is a very good singer. Maybe he'd be interested. That's great, Ken. Maybe Dave could contact my daughter Sally. She's just taken over as choir director. Here is her number. Another slice of cherry cake, Vicar? How could I possibly refuse? Thanks, Jean. Over dinner that night. Mum, this chicken is really delicious. Crispy skin and juicy meat. Just how I like it. Thanks, Dave. I'm glad you like it. I certainly do, Mum. By the way, Dave, the vicar came for tea this afternoon. Did he ask you to read the lessons, Dad? He certainly did, Dave. And there was one more thing too, Dave. Sounds interesting, Dad. The vicar wanted to know if you'd be interested in joining the choir. They're looking for new people. Joining the choir? Not really. Singing in the church choir doesn't really interest me. That's a shame, Dave. Sally will be disappointed. Are you talking about Sally, the vicar's daughter, Mum? Yes, Dave. Sally, the vicar's youngest daughter. She's just taken over as choir director. But never mind, Dave. I'm sure Sally will find someone else. I'll tell the vicar you're not interested when I see him on Sunday. No, not so fast, Mum. Did you say Sally's the new choir director? It's what I said, Dave. Then, Mum and Dad, maybe I would be interested in joining the choir. I'll phone Sally tomorrow. I say, Jean, what's for sweet? It's your favourite, Ken. Jam tart, custard, and whipped cream. Jean, you're an angel. Later that night. Well, Dave, another day over. Another very hard day, Dad. Do the honours, Dave. 2 large whiskies coming up. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Dad. Anything special tomorrow, Dad? Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Graham Edwards is coming over tomorrow. He wants to rent the large field for his school's fete. Sounds interesting, Dad. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Dad. Come on, Dave. Time to turn in. And now to finish with, here are some questions. What did the vicar want Ken to do? What kind of cake did Jean bake? What time did the vicar come for tea? What colour was Jean's dress? How old was Jean's dress? Who bought Jean's dress for her? Did Ken agree to read the lessons in church? What was the vicar's second wish? Who had just become the new choir director? And the last question today: will Dave join the choir? Listen again next week to find out. That's all for now. Farm at Lane's End, Chapter 10.